You've got a decent degree in computers, you might get replaced by something that can code faster than you. But again, if he's working with hardware, there's no way that AI is going to get rid of him.
Welcome to Career Pathway Podcast. This is actually made by students from NHS. This is one of our projects. This is the second episode, which we're going to talk about low-level system, which is a part of computer engineering field. Let's just introduce our main speaker today. So we have our subject expert teacher, Mr. Martin. And then we have our main speaker, our passionate student today is Jiaxin. He's a rising senior. So right now he's in 11th grade at Business International School, Bangkok. So let's know more about it. So what is your perspective or career overview about this one?
So I'm really interested in low-level computer stuff, especially in computer engineering field. I believe that because it interact a lot with hardware and software at the same time, I think it will be a good path for me because I love working with both. And I don't want to just do really abstract software, but I also want more grounded hardware stuff.
I see. So I heard from a quick research from my group, and I'm very impressed. The mention of average income is actually very impressive. $80K up to 140, or even more, depending on experience and location. So, all right. Now let's just move on to our academic pathway breakdown. So talking about the high school preparation, right? So let's just hear more about these two. So our expert teacher, I would like to know what are some of the recommended subjects that you would recommend for fellow students that wanted to continue their career.
Getting into anything with computers, you need to understand math. Everything about math, the more deeper math is better. That's going to be one of the limiting factors when you're talking about hardware and the software and communicating. And then when you get into electricity, how electricity travels around the board is all mathematical. There's a lot of interference happening. A lot of the things that the code might be able to fix, but without a good understanding of math. And then science, which includes physics, the chemistry of what's happening inside of all of the hardware is also very important. You can't really write software for something that's brand new that you just come up with unless you fully understand how it works. So math, definitely. If you are not happy with learning math, stay away from computer engineering. Coding, of course, you should definitely know several languages. Depending on the field that you go into, you should at least understand 2, 3, 4 languages. And new languages are coming up. Some languages are not as popular as they used to be. Just keep on top of that. Keep learning. Coding languages develop as well. So you can't just learn the language and forget it. Just keep using it. You have to learn the new version of it, which is sometimes every 6 months, every year. It depends on who's developing the language. So we got physics, science, math, and stay abreast of your coding skills, for sure.
Jason, could you share some of your high school experience starting from grade 9 up until now, which is grade 11? So what are some major course that you take, because in BASIS we offer a lot of advanced placement program or APA program. So could you share some of your roadmap, please?
I think some of my important class that I took is probably something about math and physics. In 9th grade, I took pre-calculus, which give me a insight on calculus and give me a tool to deal with a lot of calculus problems further down the path. And in 10th grade, I took calculus AB. And after that, I took calculus BC, which I think is a really good math course that prepared me for future programming in college. I also took physics C, electromagnetic and electromagnetism, which kind of gave me insight into the hardware of stuff.
And also one question that might pop up is that because physics C has 2 cores, which is mechanics and also EM. So you mentioned EM, but how about physics C mechanics? Would you recommend that, or What do you think?
I don't believe in necessary, but I think it's really good course to take too.
Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, another thing. Could you share some of your like coding classes? Are you self-studying or did you take any other classes?
I have taken AP Computer Science Principle, but that more like a general knowledge. I mostly self-study my computer science skill. I started with C++ when I was in, I believe, 8th grade, in summer of 8th grade. And then after that, I did a lot of website programming and some Python programming. And after that, I kind of go back into more lower level stuff. Did some logic gate, hardware design.
After we plan out, give you a brief overview about your high school, let's just move on to college pathway. So, Mr. Martin, would you recommend any majors? Like maybe can you give me like top 3 of the most popular major that people usually go?
Computer engineering is different now. It's different every year. The field that we learned is far gone. So find a university that accepts you, that you're good with, that fits your style of learning, and then talk to the college counselor about the computer engineering courses. They're different all the time. MIT offers full courses and along with it, these side programs constantly. They don't have them on a schedule. It's just if they have a person available and they will offer it. Most of them are online. You can sign up right away. A lot of them are quite affordable. So you can get a feel for the university and you can get a feel for some of the engineering programs. Stanford is amazing. UC Berkeley in California has a really great engineering program. That's where I went. And again, talking to new students there, I just went to visit a couple years ago. And the things that they are doing now is amazing, really amazing. I wish I had the tools and things that we are seeing in the universities now. But I wouldn't suggest just one. I've seen others in other programs in Australia. I just recently saw a new computer engineering course at a university in China, and it looked amazing. I saw a little tour of their facilities. It was fantastic. Definitely a lot of low-level hardware coding going on in that course. So I would definitely do my research because, again, like I said, university, as far as engineering goes, it's up and down. Maybe this university that I suggest, they're kind of 2 or 3 years behind, whereas this new one is right on the cutting edge. Because with technology, just always updating.
Yeah. Since you were mentioning that it's like keep updating, right? So you mentioned computer engineering, but how about like some of others majors that quite many people kind of like confuse, and even myself, I feel like they're pretty much the same thing. So there's some of the listed one are computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, and even data science.
Yeah.
So like, could you give us a brief insight on like, well, this student should take this if you are interested in low level, this one can be better, or is it pretty much the same thing? Can you clarify that for us?
It is and it isn't. They all are related. They all work together. But when you're doing computer science, it's a bit different. In the event that you want to do low-level hardware, I would definitely suggest just a full-on computer engineering course. You're going to get into the very little ittiest bits of binary with that particular course. Computer science, in my experience, the universities offer this not so deep type of overview where they cover just almost everything, but not quite as deep as a computer engineering. Whereas in that course, once you're in your master degree level, you're going to be working with the smallest little bits of the computer that make everything run, that most people know that are in there, but haven't really figured out what it does, how it does it. And that's even the computer science graduates who can build websites and make crazy cool things with the computers, but still, if you gave them the parts, wouldn't be able to put a computer together.
So, Jiaxin, if you feel comfortable or not, I'm just gonna ask you anyways. So, do you have any out of these four? Do you have any in mind of the major that you wanted to get in? Like, yeah.
I think it's probably computer engineering or electrical engineering because I love both physics, math, and computer science. I want to be able to do physics in college too. So I think electrical engineering will have a lot of electromagnetism stuff.
Yeah.
While computer engineering will have similar stuff. You have to deal with signal theory and stuff too, but you also have a lot of more computer stuff.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
That would be good electrical engineering if you're going to do low-level hardware. But again, you have to know exactly how the computers work. So you're going to be running parallel, pretty much doing both. You get a bachelor's degree in both of them, figure out which one you really want to do more, and proceed through to your master's. But it's really tricky when you're talking about a computer chip. Once you've figured it out, you've gotten it all plugged in, it works, and then you go and get the board made, and it just doesn't work anymore because two little lines, two little bits of electricity are just interfering with each other. The data is lost, and there's a lot of engineering going into those little tiny things. So it would be a good field. Like there's no way you could not find a job. Like little tech is literally everywhere, and everybody's trying to make a cheaper, better tech everywhere. Every country, all these companies. So a massive job market out there, huge.
So it's a misconception, right? When people said about like learning computer science, you're not going to get a job.
So yeah, if you're not deep into it, like Jiaxin is, you've got a decent degree in computers, you might get replaced by something that can code faster than you. But again, if he's working with hardware, there's no way that AI is gonna get rid of him.
Right. So this is actually a very secure job before you get fooled by stereotype of getting to these type of majors and not getting a job.
Well, the data has to be on hardware for the AI to work and to make it run faster, to store it better, to compile it, to make it access the data faster. That goes back to his role again.
Oh, great. Geniuses. Yeah. Now, let's move to the realistic student perspective. I would like to ask you maybe two questions. So, a lot of students perhaps ask me about like how advanced of coding skill must you have before you get into college to give you maybe perhaps like advantage of, applying into college.
Well, I believe that computer science and coding skill can be picked up really quickly, especially nowadays in the age of internet. So I think you should have pretty much a decent computer science skill. You don't have to be super good at it, but just some general knowledge I think would be suffice.
Okay. So, and another one is there's many type of languages, right? So what should you focus on if someone wanted to focus on a low level?
I think that to start programming, you shouldn't just look at low level or high level first. You should just start doing programming first. So pick up any language you like. The more popular one will be like Java or Python. You can also pick up C++ or C, which is older but still usable.
And which one are you using?
I started with C++.
Are you still using one?
Yeah, I'm still using C++.
Is there a particular reason why?
I think it's just more like because it's my first language, I kind of feel more connected to it. But also really good at a lot of stuff. It's similar to C, but it's have more modern feature. Although I would say it's a bit hard to learn though, because modern C have a lot of this really abstract stuff.
If you're interested in learning, like the way I did it, I had to use a book and sit next to my computer, flip through the pages. Nowadays, I would open an AI agent and I would say, I'm learning a new language. I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day, set up a course for me. And there it is for free. And he's right there teaching you along the way. Change it. With AI, you should be able to learn a language sitting on your phone while you're waiting for your food to come at a restaurant and stuff like that. If you devote the time to it, coding is not that difficult.
Great. Thank you. Now, let's try to build your portfolio so that your placement in college application is secured. So can you tell us more about what are some activities that students can take to build up their portfolios or experience building?
when you're young, especially in high school, most kids are just struggling through school. And then outside of school, they're playing because that's what kids do. If you want to be ahead of the game, you take on fun learning activities like the size of a breadboard, which is probably a bit bigger now. Those kinds of projects are impressive because if that was documented, uploaded to a website as an employer, like maybe it's a human resource department looking for interns, they would see all of these people about the same age, but this particular one spends his free time building computers, whereas that one is riding his bike down the park. So which one is more suitable for my company? That would be an easy choice. So those types of projects, if you love something, get into it, spend time doing it, but document it. Life is competitive. You have to, compete against all the other people in the world who are also interested in that job. And so you have to put yourself above others. So spend time doing what you love, learning a little bit more as much as possible, and then document it, put it into a portfolio, preferably digital. I don't think anyone wants to print something. You're not going to hand anything to anyone anymore. Get yourself a free website. A paid one would be even better. And just put all these things that you're doing. I learned this new thing in physics. Check it out. Let me demonstrate it for you. And make your name known. So that's it.
So it's not only just for college application only. I mean, obviously it's gonna look very nice on your portfolio application and everything. But obviously you will also use this same exact skill to kind of project who you are in your internship or even job opportunities as well. Right. Let's see what else. Do you want to share your current project? Whatever you're working on or plan on working?
Right now, because I just recently picked up assembly skill, I also have previously computer system skill and a lot of things about low level, like numerical representation, like working with floating point or integer in really low level in byte and binary. Recently, I've been thinking about making like a really primitive bare metal bootloader and a kernel, but like a really primitive one though, because I'm not fancy enough to make like super fancy one. Yeah.
Also, again, impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, very impressive.
And these types of projects, again, if you document your progress, do some research on it, and then put it up on your website. Again, when you're applying for universities, internships, things like that, super impressive.
Because whatever he said, 70%, I have no idea. Very niche, actually. I'm very impressed. Now, let's do some of final advice and expert insights. So, can you mention some of the common mistake and what you see in each student that stands out as a person who is very capable of doing this engineering?
Through university, I saw kids struggling because it just wasn't what they wanted. It wasn't. They weren't passionate about it. And computer engineering is a tough course. It's a very tough course. Computer science, once you get into master's degrees, is also very challenging. You should love it. You should enjoy it. If you're dreading math and equations, you just need to stay out of this industry. So if your parents are forcing you to do it, something like that, you really need to try and persuade them I need to find something else. So when I met those struggling people, it was one, parents were pushing us into it, another one that just didn't appreciate math. And so they didn't make it, just didn't make it. Other than that, keep up with the technology. I took a break. I used to work at Siemens, which is a technology company, and I took a break for about 2 years. And when I talked to my friends back at the office, I didn't know what they were talking about. Just 2 years. The technology advanced so much. So if you're going to be in this industry, you got to stay with it. You got to stick with it. You got to keep learning. You can't be stagnant because the new kids are going to come up, grab your job from you.
Cool. And also, Jason, so can you do some sort of like reflection and how did you stumble upon this path? Like just mention something that makes you see things more clear. Anything you wanted to add?
So if the question is how I stumbled upon programming, is that I'm a kid who got like my phone pretty late compared to other people in my peer, and I always see it as like this magical device. I never really like interested enough to get into and learning about it though. And then one summer I was pretty bored, so I started picking up programming, and I just searched up the first thing I knew about programming, which is C. And later on, it came out as C++ and stuff. So that's why I started learning C++ as my first language.
Wow. So you just get bored. And
Yeah, I got bored basically.
Then you start a whole career out of because I'm just
I was
bored
bored.
one summer. Okay, great. So it's simple as that. Yeah.
It really is. I remember it's similar when I was in high school. I took apart the microwave because I was just dying to see what was in there. I was happy the blender's broken. Great, I'm going to use the motor and hook it up to something else. And that really led me into electrical engineering.
Be crafty.
Same way,
Be
yeah.
crafty. All right, let's just do some wrap-up question and we're going to finish this session. Is there any particular habits that kind of like separate people, like, other than aside from, always kind of strive for learning? Do you see any other habits that people kind of share in common? Maybe him.
With computer engineers?
Yeah.
Some of the best ones that I remember from my job from university are those who, again, are passionate about it, but then are organized with their thoughts, organized with their studies, organized with their life. It takes a lot of work getting just a tiny little IoT electrical device to work. There's a lot of steps, there's a lot of things that depend on other things. And you have to see it as a project with all of these little parts, and they all have to work at the same time, in the right place. And you need to kind of step back and have that organized thought process or an ability to organize all of these things and put it together. You really have to organize all of the parts, all the pieces, all the code, and just even folders on your computer, making sure you're not losing things. And I think that's the way the computer works. It is an organized machine, and for us to build them, you should be organized as well, methodical, detailed. There's not like building tables and chairs where you can kind of have a scratch in it, and it's fine. People actually like that. But there's something broken, a tiny bit of anything broken in a computer, it just doesn't work anymore.
Very interesting. So you gotta be organized. Well, it's obviously a very good habit for people to be. Yeah. So, all right, let's move to high school student, then we can wrap it up. So this one is already. What are some challenges? Because you never mentioned one before, so I'm actually very interested about this one.
Learning programming, the way I learned programming, I actually bought a programming book.
So you are okay.
I also use online resources, but when I encounter like really hard problem, I also use AI to help me do problem and like teach me stuff. But when you read like this really academic textbook, I found the language really hard to understand.
Yeah.
Just reading anything like took me a few times to just rereading them and understand what they're talking about. Especially the book I'm doing on computer system. They have a lot of mathematical proof and not just programming stuff, and the math proof was really hard to read. There's just some math that I don't have enough knowledge to understand what's going on there.
So what we have learned today from our computer science teachers and our passionate student, we learned that by becoming, a low-level system engineer, it's not just learning about programming. You gotta learn math. You gotta learn physics behind it, because obviously it's not only about coding. And something pretty neat like this, you gotta have the passion. You have to have that feeling that you always wanted to strive for more learning, more education, for more learning. So think about things logically, be organized, build some habits that will make you more comfortable with codings. You starting to read it, and then you'll be like, oh, this is what it's presenting to us. Become natural at it and keep up to date always, because this industry is pretty new emerging, and new things are coming up. You have to keep relearning again and again, perhaps 6 months, 2 months, what are some recommended length. So keep up to date. Yeah, so I will see you in the next episode then. Next one will be with Jiban. He will be talking about some of the medical field. Thank you so much for attending. There you go. Bye bye.